It's so funny, when Juliana's mom was telling people that we were coming to do this, she was talking about, oh, my daughter's going to live at a monastery, and people were like, what the hell?
So it's going to be my birthday in a couple of days, and it's really exciting to be able to give this gift to myself, to be here in Kopan Monastery and just be with myself and have no distractions. Today's the last day, but we took yesterday to just really process everything we've been through. And
the last 2 days were in silence. Mm-hmm. We're breaking the silence
to do this blog. It's so peaceful here. It's incredible energy already. I feel like in forever having somebody actually confiscate my phone and any kind of digital device to truly allow myself to be with myself for the first time. I don't think we have enough opportunities like that in our life, or I guess we're not disciplined enough to do that. She was like, what are you gonna wear there? Are you gonna wear robes? And I'm like, Mom, I'm not becoming a monk or a nun. I'm just going to take a course. I'm not wearing any sort of monk attire here, but it was really cute.
Action.
You need one of those clappy things.
I came with my father to the monastery.
Hi, I'm Steve. Mark's dead. He's a son of whom I could not be more proud.
What a beautiful experience to go through with my dad, because it's such a life exploration, and we're tied together through the bringing of life and eventually through the passing of life. I couldn't imagine a more valuable experience to go through with someone so special in my life.
And he has married the most perfect person I've ever met.
Anything else we could have done would have not even held a candle to being here with him.
It's almost like a life course, more than just discovering Buddhism. I feel like we touched on so many interesting topics. I mean, everything from just levels of compassion to how to deal with certain aspects of our ego, like anger and attachment and jealousy. There's so much, I find, that we got to really dive deep and explore within ourselves.
So I'm really interested to just see how it feels to go inward, and to truly be able to give myself a break from all of the things that my mind naturally focuses on. Maybe it's actually unnaturally focuses on as we battle our way through modern day culture. And here we are. We're just going to return to ourselves for a while. See you on the other side.
I truly think everyone should take time in their life to really contemplate a lot of these ideas and ask themselves, what am I here for? What is the meaning of all of this? What is the meaning of my life? Those kinds of questions are so deep. If you really take that time and contemplate it, such incredible ideas will come to you.
We knew very little about Buddhism except some of the fundamentals about kindness and compassion.
Yes. And that's what I think drew us in, kindness and compassion to all sentient beings.
For those of you that remember the reference, it's the singing bush.
We actually used to start our days a little bit earlier because we would get up about 4:45 and we would do an hour-long yoga practice. It's not only we need to do our yoga every day, but also because you sit a lot in this course, you meditate a lot, and a lot of the lectures you're seated.
Looking out over Kathmandu as the sun comes up.
It was very, very beautiful and very, very special. And then after our yoga practice, we would go into our first meditation, which started at 6:45, and then the day would just go on, structured between meditations and teachings and lunch and breakfast and just some time to reflect and think.
Oh, and the food.
So the food was very high carb.
If you're keto, this course may not be for you.
No, it was very simple food, and is based on rice and potatoes most of the time. Sometimes we'd be lucky and get some tofu and beans and soup, but you know, it was nothing to write home about.
It brings you back to the idea that the simplicity of eating and nourishment is a beautiful thing. And how we take food for granted, I think, in the Western culture.
The one thing that we aren't really able to do here is, one, eat any raw vegetables because of our own personal fear of getting sick from our past India experience. And then secondly, just the fact that they don't have certain fruits that we're used to and that we're so lucky to have access to.
And literally, we eat rice and soup and potatoes and cooked vegetables.
Our rooms were, you know, very basic. We stayed in separate rooms. My room was just a room with 2 beds and a shower, and that was pretty much all it was used for, to sleep and shower. So it was fine for what I needed. We also actually had 2 of our other friends come and join us. One of them is Fabrizio.
Hey, I'm Fabrizio from Canada, living in Costa Rica.
You guys, I'm sure, have seen in our previous videos.
Hola, I'm Fabrizio, and we make delicious vegan burgers at Love Burger. 100%
The best vegan burgers in the world.
plant-based.
Secondly, we also brought our friend Scott
Hi, I'm Scott from Nova Scotia.
from Halifax, who's come to help us with our photography needs for the next month and a bit.
Yes, so it was really special to kind of start off our journey together and connect on a deeper way through an experience like this.
Because it really sets the tone. Just being here alone, you're integrated completely with hundreds of monks.
Baby monks, the cutest little boys.
And little baby monks. And there's just like, at any point, there's just monks chanting. And at any point, there's just like this energy everywhere you go of just peace and groundedness and reflection. And to me, that was just worth everything just to come and stay here for a bit, let alone the course.
The people that came and took this course with us were from all walks of life, from 19-year-old girls from Europe to, you know, older gentlemen and women. A lot of solo travelers, probably because it's so cheap.
If you are the wandering type and you are on your own personal journey, you can stay here in the dorms for $100 for 10 days.
Whole 10 days. It's like $10 a day.
You could go on a vacation. You could go to like an all-inclusive resort, or
you can instead come to a place like Kathmandu, to a monastery, and dive deeper.
This isn't about us committing to any of their ideas, but really just taking the things
that we really connected to and applying it to ourselves. Because, to be honest, there were times when it was a little bit overwhelming with the very religious aspect to
the structure of it, or the very dogmatic portions that were kind of like a little uncomfortable. It's a belief structure, and it's a beautiful one in the way that they've designed a way to live and a guide to live and a guide to coping with life as a human and dealing with suffering and birth and death. It allowed me to think about my impermanence for the first time in such a deep level. It sounds cliche, but it's a truth. We could die tomorrow. So why not do the things today that we would do if we knew we were going to die? Like, what if the doctor said, you have a month to live? What are all the things you would do? Where would you go? Who would you tell you love? How much kindness would you radiate? What portion of your life would you change? And then the question becomes, why aren't we living that way now? Maybe some people at the end of it are going to find refuge in the Dharma and completely give their life to the practice of Dharma and Buddhism as a whole. But I think for the most part, from our discussions with a lot of the people here, it's almost like the Course presents a whole lot of ideas and perspectives on a plate, and we've taken it upon ourselves to pick and choose what speaks to us and what we need. And we didn't know what we needed when we arrived, but I think it becomes glaringly obvious if you're investigating yourself through the process what truly speaks to you and what you need, whether it is to fix yourself or heal yourself or grow yourself or just to investigate.
And a couple days ago, we were really lucky to be here on a full moon, and the full moon actually fell on the same day of Buddha's enlightenment. We did this full moon light offering where all of us gathered around this beautiful temple and offered lights just to really raise the energy, and not just energy for our loved ones, anyone that's passed, but also for the entire world, and just really cultivating this world peace energy.
And we actually lit a candle that night for our little black dog, which we just posted a video about. And that was, I mean, that was a pretty heavy moment, because we've been pretty messed up since then.
But
that helped.
it helped.
It helped a lot, because it gave us sort of a release. At the end of the day, I don't know, it's like, this was a life course, and this really was something about thinking about things that in the Western world we tend to run away from, and we tend to just say, oh well, science knows this, or oh well, I don't need to think about that. There's always a reason to not face internally ideas that help you grow.
And it's not just about you wanting to discover the religion or the structure of Buddhism. You could be of any religious path or faith and still come to a course like this and just learn. You know, there really isn't any pressure to become a Buddhist in the end of this. I mean, if that's for you, for sure, go on that path. But really for us, we just took greater understanding for our life, for our purpose, for why we're here right now on this planet. And then also greater understanding of how can we be better and do more and give more.
Yeah,
I think that's a huge lesson that we've learned.
And just that alone, there's no better way for us to have spent 10 days.
Yeah. So thank you, Kopan Monastery, for a wonderful experience.
And we will see you in Nepal.
Or Tibet.
Or one of the two. But next time for sure.